At the beginning of Ramadan, we all heard the verse wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam. O you who believe, fasting has been made compulsory upon you. And we heard the next verse wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Qur'an. The month of Ramadan is the month wherein the Qur'an was revealed. In this very verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends off by saying, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. In other words, Allah is answering the question, why do we fast? Why do we recite the Quran? Why do we have this month of Ramadan? What's the purpose of it? Allah says, He wants to make things easy for you and He doesn't want to make it difficult. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Take a moment to ponder over these few words. Yes, in the month of Ramadan, we become hungry, we become tired. There's a lot more ibadah and acts of worship. But Allah is saying He wants to make it easy for us and He doesn't want to make it difficult for us. Easy in what way? Firstly, when it comes to our deen, when it comes to our religion. So this little bit of difficulty that you may go through in terms of hunger, in terms of tiredness, the benefits far outweigh whatever you went through. Hence, you become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are able to engage in more acts of worship, in more ibadat. You are able to do things that please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This firstly helps your spirituality. You become a better person. You are more pleasant to be around. Your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala improves. This is the ease that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about. He wants to make it easy for you. He wants goodness for you. And He doesn't want to make it difficult. Not only when it comes to your religious affairs are things made easy for you. Also when it comes to your worldly affairs. So look at your health, for example. Yes, we do not fast for health only. No. However, there are benefits. There are worldly benefits to this fasting. And to keeping with this routine in so many days where you fast, you develop discipline. You also become somebody who is able to feel that which others feel. So for example, you don't eat. You feel that, you know what, there are poor people out there who don't have food the whole year. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make it easy for you, so you are able to feel the suffering of others, hence you are able to help them. You become a better person. Your health improves. Ask everybody who's fasted and who's fasted properly. Their health improves. They become better people. Their skin clears up. All these are worldly benefits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make it easy for you. Allah then ends off the verses of fasting, or this very verse. He says, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Allah gave you these days, and He wants you to complete the full term for those who are able to fast. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ. We are now upon completion. We've completed the month of Ramadan. What do we have to do? وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. One of the acts of worship you engage in is the takbeer. You glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying Allahu Akbar. You acknowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. And because you acknowledge He is the greatest, you understand that He is the only one who deserves to be worshipped. So on this day of Eid, one of the acts of worship that we are ordered to carry out is takbeer. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. And then Allah mentions something very, very important that a lot of us forget. He says, وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So that you may be grateful, so that you may show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is telling us to be grateful firstly for this month of Ramadan, this season of worship, this season of goodness. Be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that your good deeds are accepted. Be grateful to Allah so that He grants you the tawfiq and the ability to carry out more good deeds and to be from those who are accepted. Not only when it comes to the month of Ramadan as well as your acts of worship, also when it comes to the worldly possessions you have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, be grateful for all that you have. Outside the month of Ramadan, where you eat and drink freely, be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave you that food and that drink, because in a split second, everything may turn around. Look at those countries where they have war or they have famine. Things change overnight. People who are the richest of rich, they have nothing. They can't even find food. You find those who had buildings and millions and billions, you find them queuing in a line, waiting just for a handful of food. And a lot of them don't even get it. This is what we speak about when we talk about gratitude. Being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have whatever you have now, but there is no guarantee that what you have in terms of your family, your house, your possession, your wealth, there is no guarantee that it will remain the same or it will increase. There may come a day where it decreases. Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in another verse, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ. We will indeed test you with what? He mentions many different things. We will test you with fear and hunger and all forms of difficulty, a lack in wealth, a lack in family, etc. People will start to disappear. All that is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whilst you have what you have in terms of your family and your wealth and your possessions and your good health, where you're able to do acts of worship, do it now. That is a form of gratitude and showing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, you have given me so much and I am grateful for all that you have given me. If you are able to give sadaqah, give it, because there may come a day where you don't have wealth. If you are able to perform salah, because there may come a day where you may be unable to perform salah in the best of manner. You may be forced to perform salah from a bed, or some people are unable to. They perform salah through their brain because they're unable to. So be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next point is Eid is an opportunity. An opportunity for what? An opportunity firstly as a community to come together, to mend ties, to mend and fix those bridges that may have been broken or damaged. Eid is that opportunity. Eid is the opportunity where the whole Muslim community and the whole Muslim ummah comes together. They celebrate because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to celebrate in His obedience on this day. So be from those who are kind to your family members. Those who even go out of their way. If you've got something extra, spend on them, give them. Make it a day which is special in the year. As we know, as Muslims, we have two Eids in the year, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Why do we have those days? Because the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got to Medina, he found that the people were celebrating some of the pagan days of celebration. So he said, Allah has given you 2 days which are better, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So be from those who show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and show happiness by having been given this day. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, on this day, for those who have enough for themselves as well as their families, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered that Sadaqatul Fitr be given, what we call fitrah. If there's anybody who has to give and still hasn't given this Sadaqatul Fitr, I'm sure there is a facility, or you can see the Imam before the Salah starts, because the time for this fitrah or Sadaqatul Fitr is before the Salah. So if you've forgotten or if you haven't been able to, you can see the Imam or any one of the brothers, because after the Salah is completed or the Salah commences, this then becomes a qada or something you making up. So whilst there's still a few minutes left, for those who haven't given it, please give out that sadaqah. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of Eid, he encouraged the people to give charity. And he encouraged them to give sadaqah, more so the women. After addressing everybody, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to the women and he addressed them. And he encouraged them to give sadaqah, that voluntary charity. For those who are able to, please give, because it is a special day and a day wherein reward is multiplied bi-idhnillah. The last point I want to mention, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, is if you look in Islam, you find that there is a balance between working hard, exerting yourself, and there is also that provision that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to relax, to celebrate, to enjoy. And if you look at the pillars of Islam, you will find, for example, those which are events, those which occur over days. The month of Ramadan, for example. We begin the month of Ramadan and we have normal qiyam, fasting, etc. Towards the last 10 days, we exert ourselves, and then there is a moment of rest. There is the day of Eid where we celebrate. Same when it comes to Hajj. You find the first days of Hajj, or the first day of Hajj, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, where people are resting and they getting ready to go for Hajj. Then you find the climax, the day of Arafah, and then you find the day of Eid after that. What does this show us? That in Islam we have the perfect balance between hard work as well as relaxation as well as celebration. And that's why you find that whenever somebody achieves something, so you find a person completes the Quran, or they may have had excellent results in their examinations, worldly or other, you find people celebrate. And this is something that is permissible and allowed. And this shows us that in Islam, we are allowed to be happy. We are allowed to show that joy and happiness. In a few minutes, we'll be standing up for the Eid Salah. We'll take these few minutes just to explain how we'll be performing the Salah.